Welcome back to the PCC. I'm Jollster 23. I'm over here with Lance and F6. That was a fun match we had there in the last one, man. Double Vision and Zero Grid. I'm forgetting who I actually seen today.
It's okay.
Yeah. But
Well, when you've watched as many matches as you have today, Jollster, they all start to bleed together, right?
Oh yeah, man. And then I have to actually use my brain and keep track of who's doing what and everything else. It's fun. It's fantastic. But it's nice to actually be here in front of the camera and to enjoy these last couple of matches we have here, which is Dirty Lake and the Boys and Orca Pod, the next one we have coming up. Two exciting teams, I think. Changed their name. I think I like their logo with Orca Pod there, and Dirty Lake and the Boys. I mean, can't say much about that. Just full of great people there. Lake and Nader's been casting for us in the past here. So what do you expect to see here, F6, going into this match?
Orca is looking good. I'm not gonna lie, but Dirty Lake and the Boys are. I think they're gonna come in swinging, tumbling everywhere, and I have these guys at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to pick against Dirty Lake and the Boys just because I know the quality of players that they have, but I've been really impressed by what Orca Pods had done through this. They switched groups right before this started, didn't necessarily know who they were going to be even playing today until, close to midnight Eastern yesterday when we moved them over. They've got a sub filling in for them on ADC as well. All repping that West Coast NAW ping as well. Something we really haven't talked about at all. We gave Immune a lot of slack for the fact that they were coming in and competing on that ping. As an NA Western myself, I can tell you my ping, and I've got really strong internet. I run a business out of my home, is still 90 on East. So these guys are dealing with some latency and they're still performing super, super well. Excited to see how they stack up against who many consider to be a top 3 or 4 team in Dirty Lake.
Oh yeah, definitely. That ping is something serious to deal with too. I mean, I've seen some people on West try to play NA East and they're over 100 ping. Anyone's watched Penzo's stream, he's been up there before. So ping is definitely something that I have to deal with. And since we're talking about Orca Pod a little bit, repping the NA West, and what kind of pink picks do you think we need to see out of them to kind of take on Dirty Lake and the Boys as we move into the draft?
I would like to see them. We saw Drink Drag Drunk have a really good performance on Fang Mao earlier today, but he is primarily a Rampage player. Anybody that's gone against him in a solo queue game with him on Rampage knows that your chances are slim. I'd like to see them potentially prio that if they can't get their hands on Sephiroth. But I think what they do is they don't ban either of them. They force Dirty Lake and the Boys to potentially ban one and then take the other. Or Dirty Lake and the Boys plays some chess while they're playing some checkers and doesn't ban either of them and gets one for themselves as well. And it does look like the Sevrog is going to be that ban. So I would not be surprised to see Rampage come out for Orca Pod pretty much immediately here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, and as we look at it, we also have the Decker ban on Orca Pod, Rampage first pick. How do you feel about that, Six? Do you think that's an important set of pick and bans there?
Yeah, so Sev we've been seeing banned all day pretty much. Decker as well, and we pretty much been seeing that Rampage first pick. These are some crucial bans, and Rampage getting off into that first pick every time. It's so crucial because he just has everything you want from a jungler.
Yeah, Grux and Muriel coming out for Dirty Lake and the Boys. But how do you feel about this, Lance? I mean, we've seen Muriel a lot more today.
Another first rotation Muriel. It has become pretty much a staple of every draft we have shown so far. Muriel's in the first picks for either one of these teams, typically going over the team that's picking second because it's still a little bit below the priority of Rampage. But wow, and we saw some of the work that Muriel can put it in that last game with how well it was able to protect Hosi on the crunch with Silver play in that Muriel. Muriel's been pretty good all day today. I'm assuming she's got a pretty high win rate as it stands, but we've got a little bit of wombo combo setting up for Orca Pod as they do pick up that steal and that Gideon, try to get those black holes into shield slams and really mess Dirty Lake and the Boys up.
Oh yeah. As a self-proclaimed Gideon main myself, I just love seeing him in as many matches as possible, especially with that steal to set up the ultimate. What kind of counters would you like to see towards the end here, F6, as they continue doing these picks?
As you know, the Steel and the Gideon's going to be there. I think we need to have somebody that's able to get the Gideon out of the sky, force him to build True Silver to get him out of that main power build, decrease his power a little bit so his rocks don't hit that hard. And we did not see that through the Crunch or the Kira there. So hopefully on their last pick, they're able to pick up somebody that either counters the Gideon or helps counter the CC off his Steel and Rampage to at least peel for the team.
I definitely agree. You need more crowd control than just the Grux in order to deal with a Gideon, potentially a Richter coming out of them last rotation if it is still up at that point. However, Orca Pod does have the slight opportunity to take that this rotation if they want to be spicy about it, but they're going to go with the Bellica and the Drongo. Not bad at all. Pretty much every time we have seen a Drong or a Kira blind pick, we've got it answered with a Drongo as well. Don't have to go over the fact that she's got this, or that Drongo has that silence to deal with the ult again, as we've beaten that horse to death plenty of times already. But a great answer from Orca Pod. And then once again, the Morigesh is going to come out from Dirty Lake and the boys. So she will make her second appearance of the tournament so far today. And she was banned in a game as well. So definitely more of her than I expected. We started the day off talking about how we had these two new champions available, FaZe and Morigesh. I predicted we were going to see a lot of FaZe just because of what she can do, but it seems to be Morigesh that is actually shining through.
Yeah, them picking up Muriel over FaZe, it just kind of threw me off a little bit. I think FaZe has a very high potential, but maybe the nerfs were a little bit too much for a comfort on these guys at these higher levels. So maybe this Muriel is a better pick, but we'll never know until somebody picks FaZe, right? But that Morigesh, like I said before, I just think she's a sleeper pick. I just think she's one of those mages that if you find the right comp, like they have on Dirty Lake and the boys, to kind of single target damage, get people out of the fight and give force a 4v5, she's one of the best ones for it.
I absolutely agree with you about that, and it is going to be interesting to see how this game goes. I am a little bit worried about Dirty Lake and the boys' ability to deal with the black hole and the shield smash by Steel. There's just a whole lot of team fight potential for them. However, the just quality of players that are on this Dirty Lake and the boys teams makes me believe that they've got the edge in this matchup.
We've already seen the Morigesh pull out a winning record at 100% so far ever in the PCC. So
never lost. Never lost
yet. So we might see the Morigesh continue her win streak or flop and make it a 50-50. So Dirty Lake and the boys should be able to keep that 100% win streak, but we never know. Orca might come out of the NA West with a left swing and knock her down a peg.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see, especially when you look at these two comps. I mean, you have the front line that's really going to allow that free casting from Gideon and Drongo, but you also have another one that's very reactive, the Muriel shields and everything else they have going on. That Morigesh, I'm really curious to see. You know, I've been watching it behind the scenes all day. So
another thing worth noting is these seeds are already determined as far as like the highest you can get, lowest you can get. The winner of this will get fourth, the loser will get fifth, and these guys will play each other in the first round of the main event on June 17th. So they're more or less picking to see who gets to choose what side of the map, or if they want second, or if they want first or second pick in the main event. This is a little bit of a teaser preview for what a quarterfinal matchup will be in 2 weeks. It's a chance for these teams to get to know each other a little bit.
All right, so I'm going to leave y'all here and go ahead and leave my last little pick. Let's go ahead and see Dirty Lake and the boys. I think they take 4th seed, and good luck with the cast.
Thank you so much, Jollster, and thank you for stepping in such an emergency, as we have had a couple of people have some emergencies step up today. If anybody wasn't familiar with Jollster, he is the big head of the PCC. He's the reason we have all come together. So pay some respects to Jollster in the chat, because he's the one putting all of this stuff on for you.
Thank you, Big Jollster. You're the man. Thanks for having us. Thank you, Lance, as well. And we're going to get straight into this. Graddy's just punching the air, making sure everything is working on his kit. So he's looking good.
Yeah, you got to get rid of those input bugs. A lot of the times it only happen the first time you try to auto attack. So if you auto attack several times, you'll know the next one is ready for yourself, as long as you don't make another input. So very 200 IQ gameplay coming out of Grady here. Gonna have a little bit of a dance with my good friend Appy Picker TV in the mid lane as well. And they are all primed up and ready to go. Gonna start blue side for Grady. It looks like path his way over to that off lane potentially.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to make sure he gets his blue, stopping that early invade from the Rampage, knowing damn well he's going to be there. So looking like we're getting off to a rough little fight, going off over by Lakeinator, poking a little bit, getting the advantage over there on Zero.
Yeah, and they're trying to be smart there and get a little bit of a cheese, maybe get an early knockup with Belica and trade some damage back, but it is incredibly difficult to out-trade a level 1 Muriel. Rather she takes her Q or rather she takes something to like benefit her ADC through one of the shields. Either way, her early game damage is just pretty much unmatched in that dual lane. So a little bit interesting of a choice, but if the knockup comes down, they do have a lot of damage from Corporal and Belica here as well. And we've got some really low health ballers started already over in this dual lane as they've decided they want to go the way of blood and start off fighting early.
Yeah, they already know they have a place in this tournament, so they're going at it. Looks right now, though, like Mad Corporal and Zero are going to have the upper hand here just because they just hit level 2 and they have that pressure. So they're looking to initiate, hopefully get a nice pop-up on Lakeinator here to be able to get a kill firsthand. Unfortunate, able to miss there. Level 2 on Toasty and Lakeinator, so they should be back in it as well.
Yeah, that should be able to afford Lakeinator a little bit of sustain with the shields now coming out at Toasty as well. Keep him alive as Zero's just got a sliver of health left in his bar as well, but can't get too aggressive if you're Toasty or Lakeinator here as Mad Corporal is about half health and would be at the advantage. Gonna move in forward and try to get a little cheeky of a thing, but it's not gonna be enough, and First Blood's gonna go over to Dirty Lake, and the boys Drink Drunk is here, is gonna clean back up and get Toasty, gonna get down into the tower as well, gonna have to flash forward and pick up Lakeinator as well. Is the tower gonna beat up? It is, so that's gonna be a 2-for-2 over in the dual lane with Drink Drunk falling to the tower. That's gonna be Lakeinator picking up what I believe Toasty got the first blood on the Muriel over to the Belica as well. No, actually they both go to Lakeinator, which is exactly what you want if you are Dirty Lake and the boys, as Kira scales exceptionally well. Already got that Ironwood bow coming out for her as well on her first back. Mad Corporal is going to be able to pick up the gold buff while Lakeinator and Toasty are on their way back, though.
Yeah, that was a good trade for Lakeinator there. That's everything you wanted out of that situation. How do you make it? Grady's actually getting chased down in the invade. It was not able to do it. Appy was able to rotate to help them out. Gideon is looking like he's in a bad position, but he has more mana. The steal comes in with a big dash. Are they able to clean up Appy on this rotation? And yes, they are. Down goes Appy, the man to help out on that rotation. So good job on Dirty Lake and the boys there.
Right, it looked like Appy was making the hero play, coming back in there to help Grady as Drink Drunk was Grady was invading Drink Drunk's side of the jungle. They came in there, got a little bit out of the spot. Appy gets put down for a nappy and a little bit of an early advantage over here on the Orca Pod. And once again, you see Drink Drunk in the action as he's even going to toss a rock over to Lakeinator. This man is everywhere on the map every time we have shown him on our broadcast so far. An incredibly exciting jungler to watch. The knockup is going to come out, going to hit Lakeinator, but Muriel's going to be able to be here to supply a little bit of shieldage to a Mad Caporal's going to stop out to drop the minion aggro as Zero's going to continue to face forward, but Lakeinator and Toasty are going to be able to retreat at this point, as it does look like the flashes are already down on Lake and Toasty. Oh, Toasty still got his, but it is down for Lake right now, so needing to be a little safe. Only a couple shots away from dying to this Drongo right now. Good idea by Lakeinator to return to his base, pick up another piece of his build, and live to fight another day. As Drink Drunk is around that Fangtooth pit, potentially just sweeping it out, maybe a little too early to make a move on that, especially with the low damage that Rampage can put out in like the amount of time it takes to get a Fangtooth here, but doing what they can to take the advantage that they have, taking that 3 camp away from Grady.
Yeah, that was a great play by Mad Corporal there, putting a little bit of pressure on, and then the Belisha just coming in. They kind of traded that minion aggro wave, just kind of on and off to kind of get the pressure on Lakeinator there.
So level 4 on the dual lanes minus Toasty, who just gets it himself as well. Drink Drunk does appear to still be hovering over here on this dual side of the map. We'll see if he's going to make an appearance. A little bit of fighting going on in that mid lane as Morgash is pushed back to her tier 1 tower right now, but not too much danger there as she does seem to be pretty full health. Still a minute before either of those river bugs are going to respawn. Maguli is going to hit 6 first, though, so Appy needs to be a little bit of careful as the black hole is available. Gonna push E, use the swarm, get out of there, keep herself back away from the danger. Grady's going to hit himself a respawn as well. as we are in a pretty good spot for Orca Pod right now with that 2-kill advantage with 6 on their mid laner first. Look to see if that Gideon is going to move around the map, try to make a play, especially while Lakeinator and Toasty are still level 4.
Yeah, you can see there that Appy had to get out of there. Oh my gosh, a big stun coming in. They're putting pressure on Lakeinator and does not have his blink, so he has to just keep running on that W key. Good engage, but wasn't able to fulfill on that attempt.
Not that time indeed, but it is going to mean that the gold buff is going to come over. Oh, we're going to stop drink drunk from backing. I'm not exactly sure what kind of coordination that is. Maybe Zero doesn't want to pick this up. He also needs to be careful he doesn't get executed to that, as the minions are very strong. Looks like she was able to get that taken down. And once again, they are just pressuring Lake and Toasty over here. They do not want to let these guys out of their tier 1 tower. Do not want to let Lakeinator farm. Very aware of how strong this duo lane for Dirty Lake and the boys are. There's a reason they're Dirty Lake and not Dirty Nitro or Dirty Appy or anything. This team is built around Lakeinator and they're focusing him for a reason. Do need to be careful though. Nitro with a really nice close to frame perfect blink, getting himself out of there before any more damage can come down to take him out here. Got no mana, got no health, getting a little greedy trying to get those minions, but he does know that he is safe. Chicken Brett's going to walk back in, let him know, hey, you cannot farm in my lane if you do not have health. You need to retreat. Going to pick the rest of this minion wave up for himself, as Nitro is going to have to hit a respawn quick. Or not a respawn, a base, a recall.
A recall. That was a great blink coming out of Nitro there. Able to see and time it very well.
That's a ping diff.
Ping diff?
Yeah.
It was ping diff. Now we
So
see that Met Corporal and Zero are just a little bit backed up here. Met Corporal does not have a lot of mana. They're able to put a lot of pressure on Belica over there with Toasty. Looks like Grady is on the Fangtooth and they're able to rotate since they have pressure in duo, and it should be able to clean up this first Fangtooth again.
yeah, Appy's going to roam over as well as Toasty. That's 4 members of them there. That should be enough for Drink Drunk and the rest of Orca to not necessarily contest this, but it does look like they're going to make a slight appearance, see if they are ready to join the Fangbang or if they are just going to let them walk away with that prize. It looks like that is the right choice, as they don't have enough members of their team there. Zero needs to be careful though, as Lake and Toasty are going to pop up. She's going to have to blink forward to keep herself safe. Going to get back into the power of her tier, or the protection of her tier 1 tower. Mad Corporal's going to throw out the silence, but it's not going to make a hole. Ooh, here goes Drink Drunk. He's going to go Hulk mode, enter the behemoth, use that insta rock, get onto Toasty, who is going to pop to Mad Corporal there. Grady's here as well, but he needs to be careful as the enemy are between him and his tier 1 tower. Gonna retreat over by his 3 camp, hit Drink Drunk with the uppercut, but he needs to look out. Gonna blink the rock, very good by him. If that rock hits, Grady is probably going to pop as well. So good job by Grady surviving that there, but it's a little bit too late for Lakeinator, as 4 members are going to dive him under tower. Actually almost able to turn around and get that Drink Drunk kill, but Maguli's going to ult under tower and Grady's going to jump right back in. Mad Coral's going to take one more shot, as all members of Orca Prime are very low here. Appy is hunting. He's moving himself forward. He's going to be able to pick Belica. He sees Mad Corporal down there with no health as well. Gonna have to blink forward from Mad Corporal there, but Appy does not give a toot. He's going underneath the turret. Gonna hit him with the mark, gonna hit him with the big ult. The Witch Doctor comes down, smashes it down, and that's a double kill for Appy.
My man Appy had only one thing on his mind, and that was to kill right there. He chased into that tower just to get the passive on, just to be able to secure that kill with his ult, and that was a great play and a great turnaround for the Dirty Lake and the boys.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they needed. They're gonna even this kill score up. Now they're up 1 Fangtooth as well, getting back into a position where they're not down on gold. Obviously, that's where any team wants to be. Feeling more comfortable on these picks that they've picked up, using this composition really well. Once again, you're seeing the power of that Morigesh and how she can take elongated fights like that. How she's got such good range to kill you, such good escapability with her E if she doesn't have a whole lot of hard CC threats upon her, like what she didn't have on her there, as everybody had to turn tail and run from her. So once again, just looking great for them. Appy being the shining star that he was, moving over from the rogue organization that took second in our last event. Same with Nitro, now joining Dirty Lake and the boys, looking like a really, really solid team heading into the 17th.
Yeah, they're only down one objective is the only difference in this game right now. That's a Fang Tooth, and it's on Dirty Lake and the boys. So they are kind of in the lead just by a smidge here. So we'll have to see how this plays out. But it is definitely a close one. Drunk is out there lurking again on the blue side, and they're just controlling this 3 camp and this duo lane. So we have to see how this turns out again. And it looks like they're wanting to get a lot of pressure on this duo.
Definitely, Triple D's just been sitting over here camping this dual lane, making as big of an impact as he can. You see him at the 2-1 and 4. Lakeinator's up at 2 and 2, and Appy sitting at a strong 3 and 1 for himself right now. A little bit of action as a rock does fly, but it does look like it's going to go wide. Triple D just a little bit outside, very out of character for him. Drunk usually hits those ones, and then the follow-up comes after him as well. So great job to just deal with the pressure that's happening in this lane for Lakeinator and Toasty to still be as above as they are. That's perfect. And it looks like an actual orb, a mini prime was just taken as well. So a little bit of cross map play there, taking advantage of the fact that the Rampage is sitting over on the other side of that map the entire time. Great job picking that up, getting a little bit of global golden experience, even though it has been cut within the last 2 patches. Still great macro play out of the team. So
yeah, that's great for Grady to picking up there just to get it on their side. He put them up a little bit on that objective side of things. And they're fighting here. Big ult from the top row from Steel. Brent with it. A big ult coming from the black hole. And Gideon, Muriel ult to come in to try and help save Grady. And he's able to get out. Grux is the only one to fall, but they're still engaging. Grady's looking hungry. He's trying to turn it.
Goes the Moragesh ult. And is it enough? It is enough. That's going to get Steel down as well there. So a 1-for-1 trade there. Actually, it looks like Grux was probably dead a little bit before that. So Grady's got to go a little, or got to run through the tower there, gets the shield. Abby Picker in a little bit of trouble now as well. Gonna have to use her E to move away. She does have a whole lot of movement speed there, and you don't want to stay too close to a Moragesh for too long. With that amount of DPS she can put out with her passive, with her mark, with her Q as well. So both of the teams kind of looking to retreat from here as this fight is getting dicey for them, but that's going to end up being a tier 1 tower for Dirty Lake and the boys, using the power of this mini prime to get that first objective, or the first tower objective of the game.
Yeah, great play for them on that side of the map, able to pick that Grux apart. They did trade 1-for-1 though, which is a little bit unfortunate, but getting that T1 tower is good. But they did lose the other one on the other side. So it's kind of still on that even match gameplay here. We just got to find that one play that sets these guys apart. And Fangtooth is up, and they're looking for another team fight once again.
Right, and we've got, once again, more and more action as Zero is going to hit a knock up through the wall, but Nitro's going to turn around, use the Warlord's Call, going to get immediately stunned himself, though, and the Steel Wall is going to come out into a great position. Nitro's going to come out here, do the best front line, and as he can, get very, very low, but not quite enough to pick him off, as Bellica is the only casualty of the fight so far. Orca Pod has their tail between their legs. They are running away right now, and Appy is not going to relent. He gets the mark onto the Steel. That ult should, the passive itself is going to get him. Doesn't even need to burn that ultimate, so still has it available. Black Hole's going to come out of Maguli, going to catch 2 of them, but they are going to be able to walk out. Grady is still very low. Maguli is going to flash forward. Toasty is here to keep him safe, though, and Grady is going to eat him.
Man, that Toasty saved that crunch. What a play. Divine work from the angel herself. She just saved that man's life, and they're going to be able to pick up another Fangtooth, putting them that much ahead on that team fight. What a play.
Yeah, really, really great response by Toasty there. It looked like Grady was in a little bit of trouble there, probably able to handle that Gideon regardless, but it would have been a heck of a lot closer without the Muriel there keeping him safe, knowing that they had the confidence to be able to turn that. Toasty says, hey, I'm your support. I'm here to support you. Get in there, get him, Grady, let's go, and, turns it around, and that's exactly what they're looking for. Able to pick up that second Fangtooth off of that fight as well, comfortably in the driver's seat, up 4 kills at this point, too. And although Drunk has been everywhere and has been an absolute menace to this duo lane, not a lot of attention was paid to Appy earlier, and they are paying the price for that now as he is starting to run away with this game almost single-handedly.
Yeah, he is doing God's work over there today. And right now they are playing for that first pick, I tell you what. So they're still getting this pressure. Bellic is still playing aggressive since minute 1. So they're keeping that same status, applying it everywhere they need to, but they need to get better on these group fights and be able to get on these objectives a little bit better to get themselves back into this game.
And they were able to answer this tier 1 tower themselves. They have moved up into the tier 2, got that a little bit earlier, so to even the objective bounty up, or not bounty, the objective score up there, but still, you know, in favor of Dirty Lake and the boys. Mad Caporal almost out and gets by with negative amounts of HP in his bar there, able to stop the hero ult from coming out, delivering that last little bit of damage with her Q as well. Really good team rotation by Orca Pod there to keep Mad Caporal alive.
Yeah, Orcas do run in a pack, so that was good that they were together there, because that was a great save. Great blink once again from these players, just timing it very well to get themselves out with just 1 health to keep alive and to get a turnaround on those kills.
They definitely have, and it looks like there's still a little bit of time before either of the neutral objectives are going to spawn right now. Mad Caporal is going to do what he can to mess with this Grux and Nitro here. See if he can steal the blue buff away, but it does look like Nitro was able to get it. He's going to have to retreat, though, as here comes Chicken Brett. Going to throw down the wall just to slow him down. Nitro is running for his life. The ult is going to come out of Toasty as well. Gonna see if they can potentially turn this around, but Nitro's got not a lot of health to work with. Gonna hit the Warlord's charge, gonna get 2 of them down, but it's not long enough for a stun with no follow-up damage, as Toasty is just a simple Muriel with not much she can provide. She is going to run around and change the attention, though, as they are going to shift onto Grady, who is moving forward, going to punch Mad Caporal in the face enough to take him down, but Grady's going to fall as well. But here comes Appy Picker, who's going to come in, put somebody down for a nap. Go get knocked up himself, though. Gonna flash out with almost no health. I'm gonna use his E as well. Toasty's doing what he can to keep the shields onto him. Gonna slow down Drink Drunk as well, continuing to throw these orbs down for Appy in order to be faster. Rock's gonna go white as well, which is great for Appy if he's gonna be able to make this great escape. Wonderful peel by Toasty there and Appy working together to keep themselves alive there, as it looked like Appy was about to enter spectator mode. Really good escape.
I think Toasty is the only person that could help you escape Alcatraz, my friend, because what a run from T2 all the way back to your T1, barely making it. Great play from Toasty. Then we have Lakeinator and Corporal just battling it out. ADC versus ADC, but they kind of back out. Same health, wasn't able to commit because Lakeinator was a little bit pushed up and didn't want to get caught out there. So we're just going to go back to our simple lanes. Looks like he's going to push over towards gold buff to retrieve that.
Holding down W and left click simultaneously, just running straight at each other. We have an ADC fight going on for a little bit. Would have been cool to see which one of them ends up out-sustaining the other one, keeping themselves alive. I do believe that probably goes into the favor of Lakeinator, although a lot of... Oh, actually, no, he doesn't have the Terminus yet either, so probably a pretty even thing, maybe in Drongo's favor there. We'll never know, as it didn't happen. We should focus on what's actually going on in front of us. As Appy Picker's going to jump through a portal, almost get taken down again by those Gideon rocks. The shield is going to have to come out for Muriel once again. They are trying to knock this Bellica up. They are going to get her down, so that is 2 members of Orca Pod down, while all 5 members remain for Dirty Lake and the boys. Going to move in towards this tier 1 tower. Engage on Maguli underneath it with Nitro to relieve the pressure. Oh, there's no minions in there. He's going to have to use his Phoenix. Going to pop back to life, but he is still in his tier 1 tower. Use the flash to get out of it. Real crafty there by Nitro, using all of his resources available to him to get out there, and they are going to be able to salvage that tier 1 tower in mid on the side of Orca Pod. Great defense by them.
Yeah, I thought they dropped Greystone early there with that one, Lance, but he was able to do another great escape once again with a blink and a Phoenix. So good job on Nitro to get out there and to put a little bit more pressure. They were unfortunately unable to get the T1 tower, but they're both looking at a sliver of health. So the next big push from any one of these sides is going to get to open up the map just a little bit more.
And here is Appy able to defend this against Mad Caporal at Chicken Brent and Zero all by himself with that wave clear that is available to Morgesh. Still a little bit low, but when you're as large of as much of a lead as Appy is, you can really defend a couple people off by yourself with that character, especially in mid lane when your team is right next to you here. They're able to rotate over on you on a dime in case you get into a pickle, and they are going to just walk in here, try to claim this third Fangtooth for themselves. Orca Pod needs to try to get in here and stop them from this. You do not want the enemy team getting this buff, but it doesn't look like they're going to get there fast enough, as the hunt is going to come down by Grady. That's going to get them, and Chicken Brett does go deep, make the ultimate sacrifice, and going to go down for his team. So is their support. I am so sorry, I can't think of their names off the top of my head. So does their support. The Bellica, she's gonna fall. They're gonna move into mid here. Pop them down. Maguli's gonna jump up with a decent black hole, but the rest of the team is gonna come around. The witch Dr. Ult is gonna pop down on top of Grady too, or on top of Gideon as well, secure that up, and that should be Orb Prime for Dirty Lake and his boys here.
Yeah, what a series of events. Straight to Fangtooth. They gave up, Orca Pod just gave up a Fangtooth on the third one, lost the team fight going into it just because of that Fangtooth buff, and they're able to just rotate over to Big Prime here. If they can secure this without losing it, I think this is going to be a great play. But Rampage is in by himself, trying to steal, trying to stall, unable to do anything. He just falls to the Orb Prime and Dirty Lake and the boys here, and it looks like they finish it. Orb Prime goes to the big boys, and they are swimming right now and having a great time.
Yeah, nice try by Drink Drunk there to try to jump in there. Unfortunately, jumped in, got crowd controlled, chained pretty immediately, wasn't even able to get the behemoth off, able to try to get some health regen to stay to try to do that hunt fight. Sometimes when, especially when you're down the way that Orca Pod is right now, you got to just throw out prayers and try for a steal like that. A little unfortunate. You can't see where the health is from the outside of it, and you have to jump in to see it. Did what he could, but it is a little too late, and Dirty Lake and the boys still very comfortably in control of this game.
Yeah, 22-11. They are up on pretty much every objective. They're running the map. They're getting the kills they need to. And once again, we're just seeing this Morgish do Morgish things. And it's on one of the best mid laners, Appy himself. So he's a dangerous man right now, and they need to watch out for that. Nonetheless, a Toasty with all the shields in the world, just giving it to his teammates.
Yeah, Appy's been pulling some amazing plays off this game, but as I've watched, Toasty's really sticking out as an MVP for me. What he's been able to do to help Lakeinator and facilitate all of these other lanes as well with some of that global presence that Muriel has cannot be understated. He's helped so many kills slip away from Orca Pod, where this game really could be sitting in a different situation if a couple of those early kills or a couple of those early skirmishes go another way. If they get that big shutdown gold onto Appy Picker earlier in that big massive escape that he did, like Toasty's been keeping the gold lead for Dirty Lake and the boys and scaling super well into the late game as a Muriel does. And Lakeinator's not going to stop with the aggression. He knows that this tier 2 is here. It's easy to go down if he can get a minion wave into it. He knows that Mad Corporal can't stand into him and Toasty if it's a 2v1. They know they've got this advantage. They know they've got the Orb Prime buff, and they are ready to go, as it does look like a Muriel is going to shoot across the map. Toasty's going to show up to this fight. Brady's going to hit a big uppercut that is going to pick one of them off. The Morgan ult is going to come out as well. Black Hole's going to try to disrupt him, but it isn't going to be quite enough. Grady is going to fall to the turret damage, but Appy and Toasty are going to be able to clean up 3 for them in the 3v3. And
yeah, you see how much Toasty is helping. He's caught out in a bad position right here, though. He's going to have to blink away. They do take the tier 2 tower down, and there goes down. They go for the big RGS ace itself, and they are putting pressure all around this map. Kira just got the left inhib. They're pushing the right inhib, and they could possibly end here if they push hard enough.
Yeah, it's only going to be Drink Drunk for the next 10 seconds. Doesn't have the best ability to defend here, as we do see Lakeinator up onto the core as well. The rest of the members are crashing in. They're going to go for the quick exit of this game. 24 minutes and 30 seconds so far. 2 super minion waves buffed up by Orb Prime as well. And yeah, that's going to be the game. Dirty Lake and the boys are going to get our 4th seat, or our 4th seed, and Orca Pod will be looking for revenge next, or in 2 Saturdays.
What a play. 10 seconds left on the shot clock, and my man Lakeinator went in for the buzzer beater, and he was able to succeed. Great job. Dirty Lake and the boys took this match into their hands and just ran away with it like Forrest Gump.
Right. And we were talking about a little bit earlier, we saw a couple of teams not necessarily finish games as early as we thought they were going to, or they were potentially able to, considering how strong of a position that they were in. And we talk a lot about like the different levels of teams that we have and how some of them are, you know, just like better macro players in the game, better, have like deeper and stronger understandings of the game. That is what you just saw from Dirty Lake and the boys. They saw that they could reach out and cut the jugular, and they did it. It was risky for them to go there and try to finish at that exact time, and they knew that there was just that small window that if things go right, they take that inhib, they can rush straight to it and end it with that orb prime, and that is exactly what they did. I love seeing people pull the trigger at the right time.
Yeah, that was a great call by whoever made it to end the game there. And once again, that Morgesh 14-1 Appy picker himself. He was just out there slaying and taying. I don't know what to do with that man
Yo,
because he
th-
got it.
that Appy's a bad man. As Cherry Temper says, where Appy at? That's
We're Appy
where
at.
Appy at? You know where he's at. He's on the podium because that man is winning things. Really great match. We've got one more match for you today as well. I believe we're going to bring Jollster back for just a quick second. Do we have him ready for us? Perfect. Here is our handsome leader, Jollster. What'd you think of the game, Jollster?
The fantastic game, and it's to be expected. I mean, when you have talent like Appy Picker showing off like that, I mean, what do you expect, right? So it's pretty good. I think it was well fought by Orca Pod too. I'm actually interested going into the main event, like if maybe they can make some changes and pick up on some of the wins they did have in that match.
I agree. I think that there were a lot of situations that just barely got away from Orca there. A lot of really good escapes on Dirty Lake in the Bush that really could have swung that game another direction. So maybe in a best of three format, they're able to make some adjustments, do some planning over the next 2 weeks, and get their revenge on the 19th.
Yeah, I definitely think they can for sure get their revenge. They just need to clean up those little small things. And I think, like you said before, there's only a small little waiver in those team fights.
Oh yeah. It's something that you constantly see, and I'm really excited moving forward, especially when we start to get into the last game of the day later on. So, I mean, what do you think? You think the draft worked out pretty well for them? It looked like they had a stronger draft. What do you think was the main change in that game that really kind of flipped it towards Dirty Lake's favor? Lance.
That is a question I was hoping you were going to ask, Six, because I do not know if I am prepared to answer it. I don't want to say that it is a skill gap because I know that those NA West players are also some of the best players that are available and around. They're just not quite as well known of names because this is their first competitive event together. But I think that it's just the fact that they've been a team for a longer period of time. I don't know how well it's been or how easy it's been for Stackies to find scrims and opponents and stuff as they are a somewhat newer team. Dirty Lake and the boys are well established. They've been around for a long time. All of these guys haven't necessarily been together as a five, but every piece of this team has been playing with each other for the entire length of the game. So maybe a little bit of a chemistry thing there. I do think that they had a little bit of a preferential draft as well. I probably wouldn't have thought that going into it, but my biases have been changed since watching it, which, hindsight's always super easy when the game's over to say who had the better comp. But I mean, I'm not exactly sure, and I don't think that the margin of victory was as large as it seemed during that.
Oh yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, is there anything you'd like to add to it there, F6?
Honestly, I think it was just the team effort, as in being at the same place at the same time. Grady and Appy were rotating to different sides of the map into the enemy jungle together, and that alone setting the presence in the enemy's backline whenever they wanted to, and they just did not really answer to it. Kind of gave them that lead and that pressure that they needed around the map.
Yeah, and being curious to see going forward as we come back, we will be finding out who the second and third seeds are and who's going to be in charge of that bottom bracket.